All right, you guys, welcome to the Donovan Sadiq Show. It is another week, another, day of reckoning, dealing with the city of Moreno Valley, the Inland Empire, and what's going on. Welcome, you guys. My name is Donovan Sadiq. I am the Inland Empire Informer, and I am broadcasting to you guys all the way live from Beijing, China. And I know you got the Idowits out there that say, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a liar. He's just exaggerating. That's not really happened. Isn't it funny that a lot of the facts and paperwork that has been put out there, I don't put it out there. These are facts. You can't dispute facts. You don't have to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I say that over and over and over again. I do not want you to believe me. Go find this out for yourself and make an informed decision. Thus, that is why I am called the Inland Empire Informer. Because one of the biggest problems in the Inland Empire is we're a commuting area. Most of us are going to LA or down to San Diego. For those of us in the military and Temecula area, we are so busy and spend so much time on that damn freeway that by the time we get home, we're so tired and all this other stuff is going on. And by the, we see these big signs of all these people that are running, and you think, oh, wow, that guy's Hispanic. I'm Hispanic. I'm going to vote for him. Oh, that guy's black or that female's black. I'm going to vote for him because they're female, because that's tribalism. And that's just human nature. We stick up for our own. We take up for our own. We're comfortable around our own. Nothing wrong with that. But we are on a global type situation here. And let me tell you something. I am coming to you guys live from Beijing, China. And I'm going to tell you, and I was kind of laughing because, the American media keeps telling you, oh, God, these people hate you and they don't like you. And, all this stuff is going on. The only thing you really see about China is like World War II and, Mao Zedong and, all this bad stuff, right? How it was back in the day. You see all these people on bicycles and stuff. I've seen more cars here. Barely any bicycles. The more modernization. Their roads here are very pristine. Volkswagens, a lot of German cars, a lot of Volkswagens. Hyundai. Mercedes, oh my God, beautiful, beautiful cars. I mean, cars that don't even get sold in the United States that are over here. Their airports, remember, this is a nation of 1 billion people, so their airports are way bigger than our airports, okay? So you got these Idowits out there. Oh, Donovan doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a liar. Oh, he's not over here. He's just saying he's over there. Everybody that knows me knows I don't bluff. I don't play around. If I say something, it is based on fact. It is my opinion, but it is based on fact. I mean, my opinion is talked on about facts. If I see somebody that has been charged with a crime, and I'm going to tell you that person was charged with a crime. A good example is like Evan Moron. We put the story out there. He tried to spin it. Oh, nobody knew he had gun weapons charges. Why didn't he say that? Come to find out, this dirtbag is more of a dirtbag than when we told you about the first time. Remember the first time he was blaming his simulated raping of dolls on his, I think she was 4 or 5-year-old daughter? What dirtbag does that? And again, I'm going to ask people to say a prayer for this young man because he's going to jail. He's most likely going to jail. So don't drop the soap, Evan. I know people say, oh, well, you shouldn't kick a man when he's down. No, he deserves every damn thing he gets. And I'm one of those people, I can take it as well as I can give it. So that's why when people call me the N-word or whatever, I don't give a damn. You can say whatever you want. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. If you ain't got the documents to back it up, what you're talking about is bullshit. So you're going to be a lot of people that say right now, oh, he's not in China. How many of you guys remember? How many of you guys remember this? How many of you guys remember when I ran Rating Airs, the Nancy Pelosi of the Moreno Valley Democratic Party was saying, oh, he's not a veteran. He photoshopped his thing. He doesn't have the right uniform on. I mean, she was just trying to dog me out. And in the end, who was right and who was wrong? Now, in a community where we are the 7th biggest volume of veterans in a general area, it would be pretty bold of a person to walk around in stolen valor when you have all these military people in this area of the Inland Empire. And I guess basically when you're a black man, you can't have all these accomplishments and all these things and all this other stuff. And her ratings first defense was, I was married to a black man. What the hell does that got to do with all the tea in China? You could be with somebody and still don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, a lot of stuff's going on in the city of Moreno Valley, especially we're in election season. You guys, again, I want to also thank my guest, Angel Lopez, Master Sergeant. Angel Lopez, U.S. Army retired. Thank him for coming on the show. I have invited him to come back anytime he has something on his mind, anytime he wants to say something. Angel, I also thank you for your input on my website. It is very, very difficult to do a website, do a podcast, produce shows, and still do my Facebook page as well. So as I'm out here in Beijing, China, I am going to, this is my vacation time. You guys remember I was in Vietnam a couple of months ago. Even though I'm not retired from, I wasn't in the military and then I'm here, but I'm not in the military, but I'm going to all these places. I guess all the videos that I put up of all these places is made up as well. See, so when they try to paint you as something and they have nothing else to go with, they go with the same narrative. And because black men are so negatively stereotyped in the United States, all you got to do is say something negative about a black man and it's supposedly true, and it's going to be true. So I don't know how you want to spin that, but you can spin it the way you want. It doesn't matter to me. I know I'm in China. Other people know that I'm in China right now. I'm on my way to Tokyo. I'm going to go to Friendship Day at Yokota Air Base. But it's just funny. I'm in these bases, and I'm at March Air Reserve Base, and I'm going to these places where you have to be military to have access to it. And I'm there on a frequent basis, and yet I was never in the military. I go to the VA. I was never in the military. I mean, all these things that are happening, but I was never in the military. Never was, flying airplanes. I never did all these things. But there's so many people that can corroborate a lot of what I do. But you know what? I don't care if you believe it or not, because guess what? I am not in the military now. I am just everyday troublemaking dude that sits in Edgemont that has an axe to grind. And just like I told my fellow veteran, Sergeant Lopez, I'm sorry. Okay, here's the difference. When you're in the Army, they want to be addressed by their whole title. The Army Marine Corps, there's some nicknames, but you got to be addressed them by their whole title. Like in the Air Force, you could be a Senior Master Sergeant, Tech Sergeant, Staff Sergeant, Master Sergeant, and we're still going to call you Sergeant. You know what I mean? Because it's just something in our vernacular that we do. So Senior Master Lopez is, like I told him in his, what was going on in that situation. It's very hard to do all these things. And, the thing is, 3 minutes at a local city council, and we don't even get 3 minutes anymore, it's down to 2 minutes, is not enough for people to voice their opinions of what's going on and how it's going on. So that's why I did the show. And I'm kind of glad that he came out to give us his input. Please, my brother, you are welcome to come back anytime, because every opinion is valid. Ugh, my tongue is tied. But by the way, it is Sunday here, and it is 4 in the morning. It's 3:55 a.m. in the morning, and so I have a flight to catch at 9 something, getting me into Tokyo. So we are about a day and about 16 hours, I believe 16 or 14 hours ahead of you guys that are listening back at home. So what I want to talk about, and I'm going to be really, really real on this, is Ching Linda Bernard. She is running in District 4. She is in a one-on-one race with Kid Krabaris. And I guess they believe because he's in a one-on-one race that they don't have to help him as much because, the mayor race is very important to them and District 2 is very important. So they got to put all their weight behind those districts. They think it's just a shoe-in for Kid Krabaris. Now, I'm going to say this speaking for myself. I advocate for it, and a few other people advocate for it. You need a one-on-one race to beat Highland Fairview candidates. Okay, I want you guys to listen to me very carefully. We have that race in District 4. You can't take that race for granted. Here it is. No matter how much money they pour into District 4, it is Kid Krabaris versus Ching Linda Bernard. One thing we know about Ching Linda, she ran in the last election. She's new blood. She means what she says. She puts her platform out there. I'm going to have to call her a superwoman. She just had a beautiful baby boy, and she is still out there advocating for her community. These are the kind of people we need. We got to get rid of this old guard. And when I say get rid of the old guard, why do baby boomers take that as an offense? Do you guys realize historically that the baby boomers are the most selfish generation that has ever happened in American history? You guys are right now thinking, what the hell do you mean by that? Here's the deal. The baby boomers are very transformative. They are the most outgoing generation, but at the same time, they became what they fought against. Remember back in the 60s and early 60s and stuff, the slogan in the 60s, the slogan was, don't trust anybody over 30. Who thought of that slogan? It wasn't, I'm a Generation X person. I'm a child of a baby boomer. Baby boomers. Don't trust anybody over 30. These were the baby boomers that were coming up, and they saw all the corruption in Watergate and what was going on in the assassination of John Kennedy and all the transformic actions of the late 50s and the 60s. And these guys were going to Vietnam, and they were seeing, that their lives were being used and utilized in a wrong way for things that didn't make sense in their minds. But fast forward, they have children. They're starting getting older. Now they're over 30. And guess what now? They are in charge. The old guard went away. Now they're in charge. We got Donald Trump. He's a baby boomer. Okay? Don't tell me anything about patriotism with a person like Donald Trump. And I'm going to tell you this as a military person. I have no respect, zero whatsoever, for a person when called to serve for a country, this country, and they don't answer that call. Now, if you're medically deferred, whatever deal, this guy got 5 deferments. Him and Dick Cheney, total assholes, as far as I'm concerned. They are the last people that should be talking about patriotism, because they have none. And a lot of the people in the military now, or that in that generation from after the Vietnam War up until this very day, I'd say about 3% of the population has ever served in the military. Now, I don't want to go in the military. Yeah, it was fucked up. The Vietnam people, it went to a volunteer force, which is okay. But do you realize that only 1% of the population is actually fighting these indefinite wars now? And Commander Bone Spurs there has the nerve to talk about patriotism. Give me a fucking break, okay? People are going to be like, well, he was hurt, whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Don't tell me about patriotism, okay? Don't tell me about If you've never served, don't tell me a damn patriotism. There's a line from A Few Good Men. I would rather have you say thank you and walk away than question the means that I provide the freedom for you. But I give him his right to do what he's doing. So there you go. But anyway, so we're in a transformative generation. So now in Moreno Valley, we are in a transformative situation where we got to get rid of the old guard and let the new guard come in. The baby boomers are the only generation that refuses to give up power. If you look at that, most generations before that, you do your 20 years. My grandfather, he's 95 years old. Happy birthday, Papa. He did all his years with this company. Then he retired. So other people could come up and they can raise their families. Now, I'm a Generation Xer. The leadership in Generation X has completely skipped over to now my children. I have grown children. And so now they're coming into leadership. And that's what we're seeing here. In Moreno Valley, we keep talking, and we keep talking about a one-on-one situation, runoffs, and all this other stuff. We have that in District 4. We can't take that for granted. Ching Linda Bernard can now run one-on-one with a Highland Fairview candidate. Now, this is our opportunity. We've got to take advantage. We can't sit on our laurels. We've got to take that seat and decisively get rid of the Highland Fairview influence in our politics. And this is how we do it. So this is our test run right here. This is it. This is the election we've been waiting for. So don't take that for granted. Everybody tell your neighbors, tell your friends, they should be voting for Ching Linda Bernard. Ching Linda Bernard. Anything with Crebaris is a no vote. Do not do it. And people say, well, Victoria Baca, let me tell you something about Victoria Baca. Victoria Baca isn't, when people talk about like District 2 and District 3 do not have a voice. People keep forgetting District 1 doesn't have a voice either. Victoria Baca isn't doing anything for District 1 either. So there's actually 3 districts that are not being heard. How many times have you guys seen me talk about or go to City Council asking for a bathroom for Adrian Mitchell Park? I do that all the time. We can't even get a porta potty for Adrian Mitchell Park. People bring their kids there, and you're playing at the park and stuff. We have soccer practice that goes on there. I live in a neighborhood that is very high Hispanic population, and now here's Victoria Baca, the vice president or the president or whatever she is, leader of the Mexican Association, which is a racist organization that believes that Native Hispanics are the only people that should be in this area and this is their land, whatever. Okay, these are your people. Could they get a bathroom so that they don't get sick and stuff? I'm tired of seeing little Hispanic kids pissing and defecating against the wall in that bathroom, or in that park, I'm sorry. Because what's going to happen is, as people walk through the park and stuff, disease and all that other stuff is going to happen. Let's face it, it doesn't rain too much in our area. So we don't have the luxury of all that stuff being washed away and all that other stuff. It's just going to sit there and manifest into a very, very big problem. The slumlords in that area. The slumlords are taking advantage of the very Hispanic population that lives in the Edgemont area. Why isn't Victoria Baca doing something about that? Now, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm not Hispanic. I'm a black man. Now, like me or hate me, which I don't give a damn, I'm standing up for what's right. I don't give a damn if you're Chinese, Mongolian, African. I don't give a damn. It's standing up for what's right. And as crime grandma Louise Palomares talks about, it's for the kids, it's for the kids, it's for the kids. What about the kids' health? Let's talk about that. You're worried about a damn skate park within a mile of another skate park, which is a Brown Act violation? And that's more important than getting a basic bathroom for a park area? Every park in the city has a bathroom, but the park in Edgemont. Have you guys ever wondered why is that? Why do all the resources for all the other districts go and is taken from the Edgemont area? Why is that? I pay over $2,000 in property tax every year. I put in my money into the community like everybody else. But my area does not receive fair and adequate treatment when it comes to the dispensing of city services. Why is that? I know a lot of you guys say, well, man, this guy's always out here. Why is he always complaining and stuff like that? Ask yourself that. Do you think would you guys think I would be involved in city politics if my neighborhood looked like Hidden Springs or Rancho Belago? Do you think I would have a say in anything right now? I would be traveling and wouldn't have a care in the world. But as human nature tells us, we only worry about stuff when it affects us. And Edgemont has been a long-standing problem in the city, and to me it's a crime, because if it wasn't for the Edgemont area, Sunnymead, and Moreno, there would be no Moreno Valley. So we are the anchor part in one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city, and a lot of money is in that neighborhood because these are old neighborhoods, people that have retired that have money, and we're treated like crap. That's why when I hear you guys complain about, our bunting of the city and the fences, in District 4, it pisses me the hell off. Oh, our golf course. Why is everything about your district? And I'm not, it pisses me off, but I'm not mad at you, because that's what you're supposed to do, just like what I'm trying to do in my area. So when we talk about districts that have no voice in the city, District 1 doesn't have a voice either. Victoria Baca doesn't give a damn. And this is what she's doing to her so-called people. There's not a lot of black people in District 1. All the LA Negroes don't want to move into an old, broken down neighborhood, even though a lot of them have come out of the South Central, Carson, Torrance area and have moved out here to Moreno Valley. Where are they going? They're going to District 4. They're going to District 3. Some of them are even going to District 2. They want to invest their money in a better situation, and that's where all your carjackings happen and all the crime is happening in the city. And they get that house and then they can't maintain it, so the house looks run down, and that's just another story. One thing I like about the Edgemont area is everything is occupied. There's somebody in a house. You don't have a band. It's just it's an older neighborhood. So I'm not wishing anything bad on anybody in the area, but you can see how things go. When you're in an area that's fairly new, you're going to have people in and out and abandoned stuff, and it's just a mess out there sometimes. When I see, what a nice area a lot of you guys live in, and then you see that neighbor that doesn't cut the grass, or you see that renter, you can tell a renter from an owner just by walking by properties. You can tell. A renter has, you can just tell. If you've been around long enough, you can kind of tell who's a renter and who's a owner. But that is our one-on-one that we've talked about. Ching Linda Bernard. She ran in the last election. I think she did very well in the last election. Just like what happened to me is, when you're new on the scene, people don't really know your stance, and I vetted her very, very, very well, and she impressed me very much. And I kept telling her, you got to run again, because now people know what you stand for. They know how knowledgeable you are. She kicked the shit out of when she went to the debate. She kicked the shit out of all the other candidates, in my opinion. And of course, Kid Kerberos did not show up in those debates, and that was a sad situation there as well. But that's our opportunity to take that seat. So don't sleep on it, you guys. Get out there, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, Ching Linda Bernard. That's our opportunity to get one seat. One seat done. Now, District 2. Jeffreygaya gone. Either way it goes, if he doesn't win mayor, he's out of that seat. Now, everybody argues with me. Oh, Jeffreygaya, he was a Highland Fairview guy. He took money. Yes, he did. Here's my response to this, okay? And I'm no fan of Jeffreygaya, but I have a lot of respect. Believe it or not, I respect a lot of people. Evan Moron isn't one of them. But I respect a lot of people. I don't have to like you, but I will give you your due respect as a man or a woman, okay? So here's the deal. Yes, Jeffreygaya took a lot of money from Highland Fairview and got elected by 7 votes. As you see, it is obvious that he is off the team. Here's my answer to a lot of people when that question keeps coming up. You tell me, what other option do we have? We're dealing with the lesser of two evils here. We can, stay on the same course and go with the devil we know, Gutierrez, who is controlled by Victoria Baca. He's sucking on her saggy titties. Or we can change course and take our chances with somebody that at least is going to be receptive to the residents, going to let us have our say, and he's going to be fair. I can't tell you what he's going to do in the future if he does become mayor. I can't see that. However, who else do we have? Denise Fleming isn't it. Denise Fleming is on record, and I'm not the only person that heard it in the last election, that said she cannot wait to work with Ito. Denise Fleming is Al Sharpton in heels. That's all she is. And if those guys have been watching my page, look at that picture of her and Maxine Waters and all the people she hangs with. These are people that don't give a damn about their districts. Denise Fleming being originally from Chicago, nah, that isn't it. That isn't it. And I don't care if she's a Democrat or not. That has nothing to do with it. But we already have Democrats running the city, and look where we're going. I mean, just think about that. Not that it matters. You could be a Democrat if you want. You could be a Republican if you want. You could be I call him a Rob-publican. You could be an independent. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to not vote for somebody on the city level because of their party affiliation, that's stupid. But by your own definition, if you're going to vote for her because she's a Democrat, well, Victoria Baca's a Democrat. Idiot Gutierrez is a Democrat. Kit Kriveris is a Democrat. So where's going to be the change? And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand. You got to look at the whole picture. So Kunta Kinte of Moreno Valley, Leroy Holt, has been silent. And once again, you guys are shocked that he's not going to show up at the debate. But what did I say? I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm telling you guys, Highland Fairview candidates do not show up to events. And then the events that they do show up, it is a closed event. They don't say much. They just figure, hey, we've got this money, whatever they love. And people say, well, that's kind of messed up. You're calling him Kunta Kinte. Well, what's the parallel between Kunta Kinte and Leroy Holt, Al Bundy Holt? They both were bought. Leroy is a nice, strong buck that can work the fields, and that's why a slave master looks at a guy like him. And he played football. He's this big, strong guy. At least he used to be. Now he's kind of just fat. But he's going to work the fields, and that's what Ito wants. He got him a nice, strong nigga to do his bidding. Do you think Leroy Holt is going to get on that council seat and represent black people? You got to be kidding. I don't even see black people at his events in the city. He goes down to Carson where he lives and all his buddies down there and has events. But those people can't vote for him. That's why I tell people, who cares? Let him go over there. Those people can't vote. The money's one thing, okay? And we understand that money is a big problem in politics. But for right now in this country, until they're trying to take it over, one person, one vote. And that's all you need. That is all you need. So, again, Negro Holt needs to understand you need to get the votes here. And one thing I can say about Denise Fleming is her base is her people. Whoever those people are, they look like her. They're black. Victoria Baca, her base is Hispanic. Leroy Holt, his base doesn't look like him. So what does that tell you? If you're not supported by your own people, that tells you a lot about your politics. Oh, no, he's just transformational and he's just, everybody just, no. No. When the majority of your people do not support you, that tells you something. Okay? It tells you a lot. So that's our thing right there. But I've been telling people, you got Carla Thornton. She's out there. And she's out there working hard for those votes. She's meeting with constituents. And she's doing a really, really hard job. And I wish we were in a situation with one-on-one. This is my formative thoughts. If we can get District 4, if we can get the mayor, and if we can do a clean sweep and get District 2, we've got the supermajority. But the question is, once they get there, what are they going to do then? That's the question. I don't understand why Dave Marquez would be running in this election when he to me, Dave, I support what he's doing. He's a friend of mine and everything. I can't tell him not to run, but wouldn't it be better for him to hold on to that seat and then run 2 years from now? We've got to get a strategic plan, and we're not planning strategically. All we're doing is complaining and going around in circles chasing our tails, and that's exactly what's happening because people like Radine Ayers, the Nancy Pelosi of Moreno Valley, is running stuff based on popularity. And they're messing with people's lives, and that's what they don't understand. Let's get this job done, and let's be done with it. But as far as China is concerned, here in Beijing, one of my favorite movies has been The Last Emperor of China. And I don't know if you guys have seen that movie or if you read his book, his autobiography. This was the last emperor of China. I think he was born in 1903. His name was Henry Puyi. He died in 1967 as a gardener. Now you got to think about this. As vast as China is, this man was in control of all of that. He was the last emperor, and he died as a gardener. Very awesome story. I mean, just think about that. You grew up in this palatial spot that is now the property of the people, and all this opulent wealth, and you die as a gardener. Very crazy thing. And ever since I saw that movie back in, I think it came out in 1987 or something like that, I just been fascinated with it, the colors and the culture. Of course, I was raised in Okinawa, Japan, so I was near it. But when you're a kid, you don't really appreciate where you're at because your parents are making you be there. As a military kid, when I was there in Okinawa, and I'm on my way to Tokyo, Japan, so that Yokota Air Base, by the way, been there several times as an adult. Used to fly through there, picking up cargo and moving passengers. And one of our biggest things when you're doing cargo movement is permanent change of station, and you're picking up dependents' furniture and stuff. We're moving furniture and stuff. It's almost like being like FedEx in the military, and you're just moving their furniture to their new assignment and their new base. And we used to do that like weekly out of Travis Air Force Base. But I'm not going to go. We only have an 18-hour layover, and we came here in the evening time, so I believe the Forbidden City is closed by 5 o'clock. If you go on the website, you can check out the hours. And they've renovated it, and they're still renovating it right now. They're going through a massive renovation. But on the way back, my hotel is right near the Forbidden Palace, and I can walk to it. And we come back in the morning, so that'll give me plenty of time to go over there and sightsee and do what I want to do. You guys remember I was in Hong Kong a couple of months ago on the way from Vietnam. And the year before that, I was in Shanghai. So I saw the 2 Disneylands. Well, let's get this straight. My mom used to work at Disneyland in Anaheim, been to that one. We went to Walt Disney World, been to that one. Went to the Shanghai one, went to the Hong Kong one. I'll be going to the Tokyo one. Of course, I'll stop by, whatever the deal is. So I've been to 5 of the Disneylands, all but the one in Europe. So I'm making my rounds, I guess you would say. But if you guys get a chance to travel, especially with your children, do you guys realize 80% of the American ignorance of the world comes because 80% of our population 86% of our population, does not travel outside of the United States. You guys ever think about that? Why other cultures live the way they live, or why they want to come to America? It's funny because you'll be out here and they'll be, they describe America like it's this great place. It is. America is great. But they make it seem like, man, that is the place to be. It's just, oh my God, even some of my friends, I got some Africans that are from Nigeria. And they always talk about how great their country is, right? Oh, in Nigeria, we are highly educated. In Nigeria, in South Africa, right? They just throw all this shit in your face, right? You Americans, you don't take advantage. You black Negroes, you're not taking advantage. That's human nature. And my thing is, if your country is so fucking great, why are you here in my country? I would not give up my citizenship to go live in another country. Because to me, there's nothing better than the United States. With all our problems and all our blatant racism and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I will leave the United States and go live abroad. But I would not give up my citizenship. I wouldn't do that for anything in the world. Because to me, there's nothing better. Like I said, I'm retired. I got a nice, healthy check. And I get to do whatever I want to do. And I continue to do that. I mean, and I feel blessed and thankful that I'm in a position to have done that. But you guys also got to remember, I paid the price to do it. 17 years old, 2 days after I graduated high school, I was in the United States military. So I paid that price. And a lot of my fellow veterans paid that price. A lot of parents who, let's say you didn't serve in the military, but you let your child go and put themselves in harm's way. My hats are off to you guys too, because if we as children don't have that support of our parents, that makes a big difference in how successful we're going to be in the military. I kind of laugh at my mom a lot, because whenever I go abroad, she's always saying, be careful, be safe, watch this, be careful, look out. And I have to laugh because when I was in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kosovo and all those operations, she didn't even talk like that. It was just like, okay, go ahead, go and, it was like, okay, well, my mom was in the Army as well. So, but it's just funny how you didn't worry about me and I'm in an actual life and death situation. People got guns and they're shooting at you and they're trying to kill you and, and all this other stuff. I mean, blowing shit up. But now that I'm, retired and I'm walking around and she's, oh, be careful. Here's the one thing a lot of people don't understand. And I try to dispel that myth, and I don't mean to be upsetting anybody, but this is my observation, and this is my truth. As a black man, you can walk anywhere in this world, and people are really not going to bother you. They really are not, unless you are just being one of those Negroes out there that is like those ones that cause trouble, that that deserve to get dealt with. And I'm going to say this to say that when I was in military training, aircrew training, up in Fairchild Air Force Base, Washington, Spokane, and they were giving us scenarios of POWs and being shot down, right? They said, as a black man, if I was on an aircrew and I got shot down, unless I was somebody's famous son, let's say Colin Powell, Denzel Washington, just like John McCain, his father was famous. So he had value. The media in the United States has devalued the black person. Very much the black man. So, and I'm not saying because of that, don't join the military, don't do what you got to do to better yourself or your situation. What I'm saying is, the truth of the matter is this. And I was told that. And if I got shot down in a real world situation, I have no value as a hostage. So, because I have no value, the chances I will most likely be killed right there on the spot. I have no propaganda value. I have no value whatsoever, because the way the media portrays how black people are treated around the world, when people see that on BBC News, Al Jazeera, the real news. I mean, we're shooting black people in the streets in America. We're jailing them disproportionately. The rap culture, the music, and all that bullshit that goes on, we have no value. But if I was Richie Cunningham, and I'm not saying this is, to be mean or to get everybody upset. This is just how it is. I have value. Okay? So with all this so-called terrorism that's been going on, if I look like Richie Cunningham and I'm an American, I will not want to be walking in these countries by myself because there's a high chance you're going to be abducted. There's a high chance these things are going to happen. But if you're a black person, you have no value. I don't think they really want to waste their resources and their time trying to abduct me. And then, being a black person, we have a natural survival instinct from living in America, dealing with the police and all these other things. So black people are a little bit more hyper vigilant than our Caucasian counterparts. Caucasian guys, when they see an officer, they don't get nervous or riled up because it's like, hey, Officer Tipson lives, a couple doors down from their home. You ever see a young kid get stopped? What the hell you stop me for? My mother's going to have your ass. I mean, they're cursing at the police. When a black person gets stopped by the police, you start cursing at him. That guy starts putting on his gloves, gets his hand on his gun. I mean, and it's all she wrote. So there's a significant difference in how we're treated. So having that hyper sensitivity, I can go abroad and I'm already vigilant of what's going on. I kind of watch it, that bad American thing or that bad Westerner when I was in Thailand. I mean, you got white chicks that were spilling out in the street getting white girl drunk. And I was just appalled, because I'm thinking, oh my God, but they have no worry about that because the world is theirs. That's how it is, so I kind of laugh at that because my mom just makes, she makes me, and some of my military friends, you guys kind of understand what I'm talking about. Here's my mom is in the Army, and she's talking about, oh, be careful when you're over there. But when I was in real danger, she had nothing to say. So I'm gonna have to laugh at that a little bit. But so I'm in Beijing, China. It is now 4:28. The airport is gearing up. Everything is starting to move. On that, I took a 787, which I believe is the Boeing Dreamliner. Awesome aircraft, plenty of room, plenty of movie. They stuffed me full of food, all the food I wanted, beer, wine. It was a great, great trip. I got to get used to sitting in the back because before I was used to sitting in the front, driving the plane or being up in the front seats and kind of having plenty of room in a military aircraft. But I had a great time. You guys have a chance to get on some of these high technical aircrafts, please do so. It's not like it used to be where you're on a Southwest cattle car. Plenty of room on these things. Can't say enough. All the crews talk, they talk limited English, but I'm going to tell you guys again, if you're going to go abroad, stop being afraid to go abroad because you can't speak the language. With technology, you got smartphones, Google Translator. And that's all you got to have. You're just talking to the translator and and you can communicate. It's no big deal whatsoever. But I'm going to heartily tell my fellow neighbors in the Inland Empire, take advantage of travel. Travel outside of the city, outside of Inland Empire. Go to other countries and see why they're coming here. Why are they coming to America, man? They make you have a hard-on for America. Like, oh, man, it's the greatest place ever. And you kind of, you listen to them and you're thinking, really? It makes you wonder, like, really? But here in China, these people, efficient. Roads are pristine. Not one pot have I seen. We got to get together. I'm telling you guys. Please do not forget that check out my Inland Empire Informer page on Facebook. I will still be dropping some documents. I'm still waiting on the city to get back to me on those documents for the city clerk. Looks like I'm going to have to sue the city because they're saying that I cannot see her HR hiring form. Because it's woefully apparent to me this lady is not qualified and she was working from home. Now, your tax dollars, $155,000. Lady has no college degree. She went to college, but she has no college degree. She's making $155,000 and she could barely know what she's doing. And she's working from home. What city person are you going to pay to work from home? You guys think about that stuff. I'm Donovan Sadiq. I'm the Inland Empire Informer. I'm going to get back to you guys a little bit later. I am coming to you live from Beijing, China.